bit of tractoring. I've just stopped, pick up some stones. I'll show you what I'm doing. Got this horse joker, got a set of legs, set of discs, and then a packer at the back. And I'm just giving this a second go. This is going to go into grass. So the whole of the inside's getting 2 passes, and then we'll put it back into the ground a bit more. It's a bit shallower than the first pass, just to chop it up a bit more, and then go around the headland. So that big grass field next door, that's going to go into wheat this year, so it'll get sprayed off once the cattle have eaten it off a bit. Yeah, I've just stopped because a couple of stones, well, there's a stone there and a stone there, and then I spotted a few more over here. So yeah, it's a bit tacky. The combine's going just over the hedge. See 2 of the trailers there. When that field's done, that'll be the last of the ground to be combined up here at Farm 3. And that'll be that cutting spring barley there now, and I don't think it's much fun. It's a bit kinda, I don't know what you'd say really, but anyway, we're on cultivating. I'm on this would be the new tractor as opposed to the new tractor. No, this is the new tractor. So this is the one that was brand new, and we don't have the GPS on this one, so it's all done by eye, which I'm used to doing really, to be fair. I've only really used the GPS a couple of times, but it's no great hardship. Just nice to be out on a nice evening like this evening, and I quite like doing this job too, so I'll sit on the old 140 to do this job if I have to. It's quite satisfying. Anyway, that's what I'm up to this evening. I've not really come prepared to do any amount of filming, although I probably should, because content in it's going to be Thursday's video isn't, well, we had a slow day on Wednesday, let's put it that way, and Tuesday couldn't show you an awful lot, so yeah. Anyway, you'll notice my it's tapering off a bit. I locked onto the wrong tree and I've ended up, I'm about right up this end, and then down that end I'm about 2 passes out. So right, I'll knock off and I'll turn around here, look. There we go, I've got it squared up now. It's a bit sticky up under these trees, look, so I'm just trying to not make a mess. Ugh. Yuck. Well, that's it for the night. I got that field finished. I'm just kind of digging it out a bit. It got rather sticky in that wood side. It was leaving it level behind, but it needed, like, it was diff locks on and point it in the direction you want to go and hope for the best. So yeah, but it was just that one bit, and I did say I maybe should stop, and I was told no, it'll be fine. So I don't know what it'll look like. I'm sure it looked alright, as it was I was focused in the direction that I was going rather than sort of what was being left behind. But no, it'll be fine. It will be fine. But yeah, it's remarkable really. We've not, well, we had a couple of quick heavy showers yesterday, but yeah, it's still quite sticky. I mean, even the main body of the field was working. It just wasn't what you expect for back end cultivations, where you've got a nice dusty tilth behind you. It's just so wet. It's just not fun. You don't enjoy it as much. Whew. Anyway, he's had to knock in with barley as well. Barley's stopped, so this grass is soaking wet. Damn, not soaking wet, that's a lie. It's only 9 o'clock though. Anyway, take this back to the yard and switch off. There we go, that's just packed up. I like these little courtesy lights on the mirror arm, look. See your way down the steps. Anyway, right, see you in the morning. What am I doing tomorrow? Oh, I'm going to go and get my Doosan stickers taken off the van. So, yeah. I'm filming this on Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday today. Thursday tomorrow. But you won't see this till Saturday, 4 o'clock, hopefully. I'll turn that light up before I forget. Saturday, 4 o'clock, hopefully. Try and get everything back on track again. I was late putting my Monday video up because I was late. What did I do on Monday and I was late? No, Tuesday I was late home. And I didn't edit my video on Monday. Oh, it's just been a mess. But I'm trying my best. Right. Let's go home. See you in the morning. Right, that's the van dropped off. And that'll be the last you see of Doosan on that van. It's getting Devlon stickers put on it. Bit of a funny old day today really. I thought I was going to have it back for lunchtime and I was just going to sit in the reception of that spot until it was ready, but likely it won't be ready till mid-afternoon, which basically means the day's written off for me. I'm going to get picked up by a lad at Dumfries, go back to the yard at Dumfries and mooch about really. Can't do anything without my tools, so yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. Content will be slim pickings today. 2 services that I had booked today. I phoned that customer and he was in no rush, like he only phoned us yesterday with them, and I thought, well, I'll put the afternoon in, but yeah, the big reveal. That looks quite good. They've done us some fresh Devlon stick. I like that. That's classy. Some cheeky little parsnip's got a YouTube sticker, look. That looks nice. Big shovel on the side. 380. Couple of shovels on the back. Quite moody look. Another 380 and a 420. Devlon there. And we've got a 235 on the side. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, the machines on the side look good. I personally preferred the previous machines on the side, which are like out, you know, it was a machine with no background, whereas they've got a background. But yeah, looks good. Looks sharp. Not that my opinion matters anyway. At the end of the day, it's just a couple of stickers, which is basically cost me the day. Right, I'm gonna head to Carlisle. That'll be the end of my day. I'll say the end of my day. What I'm gonna do is, what am I gonna do? Yeah, I'll load up for tomorrow, and then I'm ready to go in the morning. Okay, see you in the morning. Morning all. Just gonna give this engine bay a quick blow out. So I'm at this DX55. Had a bit of bother with the starters, raised a couple of faults. HQ have had a couple of these jobs to do, and my boss basically has been looking at other machines that has had the same fault occur, and he's spoken to this customer, and this customer says, oh yeah, mine's a bit bad to start. So I'm here to fit a starter motor. What I'm here to do, I'll show you that. Done one of these before on a new machine at at the yard, so I remember doing it, and I remember looking at that start motor thinking, how in creation is that going to come out? But I'm pretty sure it does. I'm pretty sure it does. But yeah, no, first thing I need to do is disconnect the battery. So especially if you're working in a confined space like that, it's always a good idea to disconnect the battery, even with the isolator in the off position, because that live there, that one there, is going straight onto the starter motor. So I don't want to be swinging a metal spanner about the engine bay and just accidentally catch something and fry something that I don't want to be fried. So we'll disconnect that. So that's us all sort of switched off. Same if you're working on the alternator as well, it's a good idea just to have everything isolated. Right, from memory, cut a couple of cable ties, take them bolts out of there, lift this up out the way, and I'm sort of right on top of it then. I think, if I remember rightly, it's got a belly plate on it does. I think I have to get at the bottom bolt through the belly plate, but then I think the starter just slides out, and I'm sure it comes up and out the way. We'll find out in a minute or two. That's pretty simple, just to get all that stuff out of the way. I'm all disconnected now. There's no nasty little, sometimes in starter motors your exciter wire's got a nasty little nut that's all dead fiddly and you've got no space to try and run it on, but this one is just a plug, and it's on the same piece of loom that also feeds the electric lift pump as well. So that's good, because that plug there is the sort of plug that I'll forget to plug back in at the end, and then the machine will start and run, but tomorrow morning it probably won't. So right, I'm hoping, I think they're 14. Yeah, 14. So that's the nice easy one. Now something tells me, I can't just remember now, I have a feeling I have to run these studs out. Can't just remember. I'm sure I had to take a stud out to be able to get it out when I did it last, but we'll see. So I've used a short extension and a short 14, a long extension and a short 14, and finally a deep 14 and a long extension. Got all the bolts slack. This one under here is a bit of a pig, but happily it's coming out, so that's nice. Just gotta get this nut off the bottom of here. Ta-da! Rest of these are finger tight. I'll leave the easy one to get at. Always leave the easy one to get at till the end. That way you're not trying to hold the starter motor up at the same time as loosening a nut. Wherever possible, sometimes there isn't an easy nut to get to. That's 2. Right, I probably will need 2 hands now. Maybe not. Remind me to put the dipstick back in as well, because that's the sort of thing I would forget to do as well, first thing in the morning. Right, I've got a feeling there's something about these studs that I have to take off. Possibly. Yeah, can't just remember. I'm sure I need to get it to that position now, and then put a couple of studs on, nuts on, and wind the stud out. That's what I'm gonna do anyway, because I'll be able to pull it out past, I think. You learn, don't you? Once you've done a job once, it's easy, usually. Or once you've done a job once, you think, God, I hope I don't have to do that again. Right, I'll go and get 2 14 spanners. So yeah, for those of you that don't know, if you run 2 nuts together and tighten them off in opposite directions, it locks them together, and it locks the nuts onto the threads of the stud, and that is how you extract or remove a stud like this. For those of you that do know, it's old news, isn't it? So I'll take one stud out and have a wiggle about, see if I can get the starter motor out. If not, then I'll take the one below it down There, I'll take that one off too. And there we go. Not a bad little job at all, to be fair. A little bit of a challenge, keeps things interesting, but yeah, not too bad at all. Right, we'll chuck this in the van, grab the new one. Make sure the new one is identical, I'm sure it will be. Yeah, it looks the same, but at a glance I thought this one was maybe longer, but I think it's just the do it like that. Yeah, they're the same, aren't they? Just where it's sat there, doesn't it look like this one's slightly longer than that one? Anyway, we'll soon know when we try and slot it in. Let's go and have a go. Right, went in no bother. Went in no bother. When you remove something like that and it's a bit of a wiggle and a struggle, it pays to sort of pay attention on how it comes out, because it's just a case of repeating that process. Right, so I used the front, well, whatever you want to call it, I used that nut to wind it out. I'll use that nut now to wind it in. Obviously when I do that, I'm trying to, I suppose the nuts are locked together, but if things get a bit tight, chances are that nut will come loose. So I'll use this nut now to wind it back in. So it's just a case now of sort of doing everything in reverse order. So you'll join me once I've got everything back together. Right, that's us all back together. Start motors in, lift pump plugs in, dipsticks back in. Good. Right, let's turn the isolator back on, put the battery back on. Should be able to start it, I'm hoping. I've got a software update for this as well, because I'll show you. Before I start it, I'll show you. Engine oil replacement period is exceeded, and if I go to maintenance, expendables management, where's the engine oil? There, see how it's over. So if I click reset, yes, it doesn't reset. In fact, it knocked it back an hour there, didn't it? Look, yeah, it doesn't reset. So this was quite an early machine, and there's, you know, as machines go through the life, various little software niggles are found. So there is likely an update for this, so that's the next job. Do an update. Don't know if you remember the last time I did an update on one of these 55s. So I'm hoping, I've got a 55 at the yard. If this goes wrong, I can rob a VCU off it. At least this is at Carlisle, not 2 hours away. Right, I'll give that a go. I'll just put all my tools away, then I'm kind of squared away, and then. So I've been, well, it's doing something. And it's saying it's doing something on there. But my colleague says it does it in 30 seconds, and it's been 6 minutes now. I hate doing this. One of my least favourite jobs. Relying on that to do my job. Oh, the suspense is horrible. And I've got a feeling that if it doesn't work, then that's the computer knackered. Join me in 5 minutes when I'll be grumpy or really relieved. Right, we are just over an hour after I started to update this thing. Basically, after 35 minutes, the progress bar hadn't moved. I phoned my boss, I said, I've got a horrible feeling that this EPOS doesn't want to take this software. He says, well, after half an hour of it not moving, it's definitely not going to take anymore. Pull the plug. All you can do is start, try again. So anyway, switch the machine off, pulled the plug, turn the ignition back on. Sure enough, the machine wouldn't start, nothing. He says, right, we'll do the old-fashioned thing, turn your laptop off, turn it back on again and try again. This time it did about, I would say, 50 to 60% of it, because it's just a load of dots on the screen. And then it paused again while he was on the phone to us. And I thought, right, one more go. And it did it really quick, like that. So what happens is it updates, and then the progress bar disappears. And then that EPOS to gauge panel communication error disappears. And now I should be able to turn the ignition on. And it shouldn't have a message across the screen saying EPOS gauge panel communication error. That is the goal. And it shouldn't also tell me that the engine oil needs replacing. Make sure nothing's going to pop up. Nope. And it starts. My boss was saying, of all the people that should have confidence in computers and laptops, for a lad that's running his own YouTube channel, he should have confidence in his software and his hardware and his computer skills. Nope. Nope, I've had too many scares and nasty experiences with software updates to have any sort of confidence. So I am relieved. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's that same feeling of relief as when you've rebuilt an engine and you're starting it for the first time and it fires up. Maybe you'd have a bit more of a relief in that situation, but still, it's really annoying that you come to do something like that and a machine that's working perfectly well, it's just got one of those niggly little, that's annoying problems, but the machine still does a day's work. And you go and do something like that and you end up killing it. So there we go. That has I've got a little bit more confidence in it now, and I'm sure once I've done a few more, my confidence in software updates will be restored. Right, give this back to the customer. In fact, we'll just see what the engine oil life is saying on it, because it might need reset. Let's have a look. That one, I'll wait till it does its thing. Look, right, maintenance, expendables management. It's all reset, look, which is fine. Yeah, so I need to go into the dash now and set everything back up, because it doesn't know that it's got rotate lines, and it doesn't know that it's got, probably doesn't even know that it's got a quick hitch. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't even realise that it's got a quick hitch on it. So I need to go and set the dash up now. So it's bad to see, I know, but we're in the sort of super service menu now. So we go into the service menu using a secret button, and then we go into machine configuration, where it asks you for a, what does it ask you for? 4-digit password. And we can go into attachment options, and you can see all these boxes aren't ticked. So we've got one way, we've got two way, and we've got rotate lines. We can come out of there now. Machine options, we've got an overload warning, we've got a quick coupler, we've got cabin lamps. Yes, we've got we've got cabin lamps, and we've got a wiper. Good, so we will need to check that all these work. I'm going to leave the travel swing alarm switched off, because it was previously. General options, got all of them. Good, they're all set. Need to set the serial number, 1 2 3 4. I think that's 0 2 0 1 4 4. And that is all set. Vehicle name, it is a DX55. Is it an R, or is it just a DX55? Yeah, it's an R. R-7. Save. Right, so we should be able to escape out of there now. Go to the attachment settings and we've got those. Good, and then we can flick the quick hitch. I need to start the machine to do that and have the, I'll just put the pilot lever down and I should be able to flick the switch. Not yet. I'll maybe switch the machine off and then restart it. Oh no, that's why it wouldn't start, because of that. Anyway, I'll just check everything's working. Start, good. Yeah, quick coupler's working now, look. Grand. Right. I'll check the lights are working. Lights on. No. Are they on now? Yes. Good. Right. Let's go. Right, we're 12:30. I'm doing a job now that I've never done before. Don't know how long it'll take, but I'm pretty sure it's going to put the rest of the day in. Doing a full service on this transfer box, transmission, axles, hubs, engine. I've got everything. Had to get some special oil because we had to use the stuff that was recommended. So we've got this Shell Spirax S4 for the gearbox, and we've got Spirax CXW. Oh no, then I better make sure I get this right. So S4 10W is that one, and that one is going to be gearbox. So I better make a note, and that's the axles. Right, good. And then the gearbox is just 80W90, and engine oil's just the usual low ash engine oil, 15W40. And then there's the capacities. 11 litres in the engine oil, 13 litres in the gearbox, 1 litre in the transfer box of that's gear oil. Front axles, 10 litres in each, including hubs. Right. Cool. But I think I'm going to have to spend a bit of time excavating all the bungs, level bungs, make sure I'm getting the fill bungs out before I drop the oils, etc. And I'm going to really enjoy doing the hubs because you'll have to roll it forward till the bung's at the bottom. So I'll have to drive forward till the bung's at the bottom, drain it, and then reverse back until it's at the level on all four corners. I remember when I used to look after telehandlers, you could, if it was a farm spec telehandler, you could use the pickup hitch at the back and push the machine down on a block of wood, and it'd lift the back axle up, and you could just turn the back axle. And then the same with the front axle, you just lower the boom right down, and then you could turn it, so it's nice and easy. But I've got no way of. Should have fetched a jack, shouldn't I? Anyway, we'll deal with it. The machine hasn't been used this morning, so I'm just going to let it warm up, and then while it's warming up, I'm going to dig out some of these level bungs. Tell you what, this is good. Clean all this off because I'm going to have this foot plate off, hopefully. I am loving using this. Can't believe I've gone for so long without one. Whew. Get all up in here, look. I'll take that front plate off. This machine, back in the spring, it was on a sort of long run, and the axles kept heating up. And when the axles heated up, the brakes were binding on, and it was the axle breathers that weren't allowing the axle to breathe. These axles were so hot to the touch, and that was when we decided we were going to give it a right good service. Anyway, we were able to service it today, and the axle breather's still clear. There's just a mountain of muck up on top of here, and it's been alright ever since, but I wanted to change the axle oils, so I says we'll just give it a right good service one day. So here we are. I'll go and get the back axle cleaned off now. Right, I know site dumpers are site dumpers and nobody cares about a site dumper, but I don't know, some of you might have lifted this floor plate up and packed up and left. I mean, look at the muck on top of that battery. But if I don't do it, nobody else will. So I'm gonna give it a good clean up. I mean, I'm only going to clean the bits that I need to be in among that, but I can't leave that like that. So, yeah. Filthy like. I was looking for the fill point on the transmission is what I took this plate off for, but in hindsight, you obviously fill it through the filler neck and use that as a level. But it's done no harm taking this off. I can have a good clean up, and to be fair, transmission filter's there and it doesn't look like it's so handy to get at from underneath, so no great hardship. Right, I'll rest my airline that look, give that a blast off again. Goodness me. I was looking all over for the air filter. It's up under here, look. I'll do this one first. Get the cover off. Oh. Give that a blow out in a minute. I bet it's not too bad, this. The machine hasn't done loads and loads of hours. I think it'll be 250, 500, something like that, somewhere in that region. Look at that, you can't get the air filter out for the bloody job. God, that's terrible, isn't it? Right, I need two hands. I wasn't sure if I remembered these. The door catches have packed in. This side I had to break into and I've popped the lock. And then this side doesn't work well. The locking mechanism's gone all together out of there. So I've got two new catches, but I couldn't just remember whether or not I packed them. So I've got them, so I'll do them at the end. Yeah, you know when you're doing a service on a machine before you get a box full of filters, you don't know where anything goes. It looks like that's the transmission filter, engine oil, fuel filter, grand, no issues. This one looks like a hydraulic filter, so I'm gonna have a look in here, see what's in here. I have loosened that already, by the way. Aye, there's a filter there, look. That just pull out, does it? It's in a little cup. Two hands again. On this side I've got a fuel filter. So I'll take it off as a oneer if that's what you do. I presume you just unscrew that and it all comes out. Not sure whether I'm going to make a mess in the process, but we'll find out. It's got one of them stupid, you've got to pull a little red tab out the clip, which I can't do because my fingernail will snap off. Oh, go and get a pick. Oh, look at that, it's see-through, look, when you wipe all the muck off it. That's the fuel filter, so I presume it's a bit like the 140-5s where you unscrew this and then pull that out and replace it inside here. So, well, we'll have a go at that, see what happens. That went well. That's just like the 14 tonners, you sort of screw the element filter into the housing there. This is the engine oil filter, engine oil filter, which it's black like, isn't it? Just take note of how it's sat. Right, and that's other than the transmission filter, that's all the filter's done. Right, so to get that filter out of that housing, you have to push it down and turn righty tighty, lefty loosey. You have to turn it left. It's the opposite way to the way you want to turn it, and it's just like a quarter turn, it pops off. Just found that out, thought I'd tell you lot. But there's folk that service these every other day and they go, God, Do you not know that? Nope, didn't. Learning. Well, I've only got one filter left, so I might as well change it. Transmission filter. If that, I mean, it's just the way I'm doing it, I suppose. If I had could be bothered to get my filter strap out and get it all tangled up around here, and you get it from the top. But I just lay underneath, and you can get it from underneath. So, lesson learnt there. It's going to make a pool of oil on the floor, so I'll get a. I mean, I am on sand. But, oh, you know me, I don't like to make a mess. I'll get you under there, look. I'll get another tub for it to go into. And reset, there we go. Any oil that will fall out of this now will go into there. Lovely. Put that in there. Blib blob. Around there. And then I'll drain all my oil, start draining my oils out. Should probably do the engine first because it's been about 20 minutes, half an hour now since I switched the engine off. I don't like to cool down too much. Oh, go in there without getting grit on the seal. There we go, that's a one-handed job. First one-handed job. Right. Good. All the filters are done. I've found, located and changed all the filters. That's the first battle one. Right. Now to decide what I'm going to use to fill various different things. I think what I'll do is I'll drain the engine oil and I'll set this off draining. So my estimations is that's the level fill and that's the drain. So I'll drain that out because that's gear oil like, so that'll be, I should have really razzed around the site for 20 minutes getting that nice and hot. Missed the trick there. Yeah, I'll drain that and then use my gear oil pump to fill that, and then I'll empty my gear oil pump if there's out left in it, and I'll need that to fill the axles. It's not coming out there too bad. My only criticism would be it's not 24 and it's not 27, so my estimation is it's an inch. Would that be right? An inch spanner. 27's a bit loose, 24 you can't get on it. I'm sure if I looked hard enough in my van I'd find a 26 mil spanner, which might be a better fit, but they weren't tight, so that's good. Right, engine oil. Good, that went well. There's more in here than I would like to waste, really. I'm only going to take a litre out of there. Saying that, after see how much is left once it's full. Pump it in quietly. But this would be nice just to pump the oil into the axles and those hubs as well. A bit more controlled than that Milwaukee pump. But if I have to, I have to, you know. So I've actually found two clean. Remember last start of the week there, I went back to that mega shovel and put 40 litres of hydraulic oil in it. Me being me, I didn't replace the hydraulic oil in the van, so I've got two nice clean empty drums that I can put that gear oil into, and then I can do my axles, because I'm not going to use, where is it? I'm not going to use all this oil, I don't think. What did we think? I might use it, and I'm 9 litres each axle, including the hubs. So there'll be 2 litres left. I don't know. But anyway, I can put my oil, my nice oil, gear oil, into that hydraulic container, and then when I'm finished I can put it back in there, because that's generally 99% of the time that's used for gear oil. So I'll put the gear oil back into it once I've done the axles. Now for the engine oil, I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm getting on better than I thought I would. So I'm going to pour it in with a jug. That way I can monitor how much is going in, and I know exactly how much I've put in then. That's 10 litres in. I think the book said 11, didn't it? Or was it 13? No, 13 was the transmission. I remember the transmission being more than the engine. So at 10 litres, let's see where we're at on the dipstick. We're not on it. Maybe just at the very tip, which is fine. We'll put another litre in. The book is bang on. 11 litres. So I might just put what's left in there in it, because it'll go through the filter and stuff. It'll not take any harm. Right. And to be fair, that'll be the full. I stopped just shy of 11 litres just in case, because I didn't really want to have to drain any out. So that is grand. Right, I'll drain the back axle off and refill it. I'll do the front axle and refill it, and then I'll do the transmission. Thinking about it, I'll leave the axles till last because I'm going to need to move the machine backwards and forwards to fill the hubs up, and that's the same oil as what goes in the axle, whereas the transmission takes a different oil. I've changed the filter on that, so I should change the oil before I start and run it. Also, I'll need to put all of this back together. I say all of this back together. All I really need to do is put the throttle pedal back on. I don't want to fit the throttle pedal to run it backwards and forwards to then take it off again. So yeah, right. Where's the bung for this? I'm sure it's the same silly size as the drop box. Where is that axle? Where is that transmission oil going to go to? Onto there. Is it going to go over that side or this side? Put me handy dandy doodah in here, look. And hopefully that'll stay there. Oops, that there. Move back out of the way a bit. Where's it going to go? Ready? Oh, it's not too far. I thought it was going to go whoosh. Perfect, look. See that on top of that prop shaft there, where it can fall off into the grit. Just chill down here until it's run out. Well, that's gone well. Yeah, either that. I mean, the oil was fairly clean, wasn't it? Either that, or I've drained the engine oil again. I'm sure I haven't. Just make sure yeah. I am gonna grease these drive shafts as well while I'm here. Don't you worry about that. I'm just sort of taking my time with this job because obviously I've never done it before. I want to do it right first time. Once I've done it once, then I'll be much more efficient at the next one. But the first one needs time and attention to take. So I've got half of that in there, and I'll pump it into there and see what happens. Yeah, that stuff there and the other stuff, it's quite expensive. And we did try finding sort of alternatives just for price comparisons, and I think there was another alternative, but it was the same price. Can't remember, but yeah, I thought it'd just be like red ATF transmission fluid, but it isn't. So better do stuff right, of course. But then, having said that, I couldn't honestly tell you how much a drum of that Doosan engine oil is. It's just, a lot of people ask us, oh, how much does it cost to service that? How much does it cost to do that? Thinking that I know, I don't. What happens is somebody phones me up and says, oh, the machine's due a service. I go, yep, no bother, how many hours? Right, I need to take that filter, that filter, that filter, that filter. And that's it, that's as much as I know. Unless somebody specifically phones me and says, how much is a service for this at this hours, then I'll pass it on to my parts man, and either he'll quote the customer directly or he'll send me an email with the total of parts, and it's not generally a number that sticks in my head. So yeah, right, anyway, I'm getting there. feel like this is going really well, and I was a bit apprehensive about doing it because it's always the same, isn't it, when it's something that you've not done before. I have just started it because I put the oil in and I couldn't make my mind up whether it was over full or not. So I started it and I've topped the transmission all a bit. But look at that. Perfection on the engine oil side. Transmission is good now. I did top it up with maybe 3 or 4 litres, so that'd be about right because I put roughly half of that in there. And then I just give it a couple of glugs. And that's it, up onto the mark. So I will put the, I'll put the floor plate back in because once I've done all axle, I'll set an axle off draining, won't I? I'll set an axle draining and then I'll put the floor plate back in and then do the back axle. Yeah, I'm enjoying myself today. Everything's going well now. So that's a good thing. I took this fill bung out and it didn't go hiss at me, so I know that breather's working. Well, at least it seems to be. Oh, that was loose. I haven't loosened that, so I must remember to tighten that up. Right, get this oil drained out. I'm pleased to change that oil because that was absolutely stinking. Stinking of burntness. I'll pop this fancy stuff in. Oh, it's an easy pump that. Maybe step it up a gear. Hey, I'm not looking forward to doing these hubs. It's going to be alright faff. It's funny on a building site, there's nobody about now. It's about 2:30. There's 2 cars in the car park. Why does everybody go home at lunchtime on a Friday on building sites? I bet you'll probably find people back in tomorrow for a morning shift. Funny, yeah? Might as well just do your day on Friday and have the weekend to yourself, surely. Anyway, I'm just jealous. Right, get this done. You get the idea. You can join us when I'm messing about doing these hubs. There we go, while the oil, nearly finished, while the oil's been running out, I've done my bonnet catches. Don't wash it out of there, look. So that's good. Put them in the scrap bin. Hey! Now we're getting on a treat, like. I'll be glad though once these hubs are done. So we will continue. Brilliant timing. I'm being kicked off site because, well, they're locking the gates. And I says, well, that's grand. All I've got to do is the hubs, and could do with somebody to sit on the seat. So that literally took 5 minutes. Couldn't have happened at a better time. So I just need to pack up and clear off now. Oh, there we go. Right. I'll get my head down. I don't want to keep these lads longer than they have to be here, so I'll get it tidied up. So that's that done for serviced. I am pleased the forecast wasn't correct today because it was meant to rain and be quite wet, and I've stayed dry all day today, which is an absolute bonus because I think rolling around underneath that dumper would have been quite miserable. So I must remember, if there's a dumper like that to service again, pick a dry day or try and find somewhere dry to do it, because yeah, it wouldn't be nice rolling around in slither. What else I'm going to tell you? There's another 2 points I'll mention. That Mega 300 shovel, I never really mentioned it in the video, but I just wanted to emphasize, like, it's one thing trying to find a genuine fault on a machine, but when the fault is man-made, God, it makes it difficult. We were thinking at one point, well, has the main pump cracked and it's leaking high pressure oil into the low pressure circuit? Because on paper, I cannot emphasize, on paper, the pilot brake circuit is completely separate to the main hydraulics. So it really was a strange fault to try and get to the bottom of, and unfortunately it took all day, but there you go, 2 pipes. Another thing, last thing I'll mention before I round the video up, the most recent video, which is No More Doosan or something like that. That's the end of Doosan, something like that. Anyway, I don't like to use clickbaity kind of titles because I feel a bit cheated myself when I click on a YouTube video that's a bit clickbaity. I hope you understood I'm not moved, I'm not leaving, but I just noticed that that's the best performing video I've had probably all year. I mean, it's done nearly 6,000 views in less than 24 hours, which is good for me. I know some YouTubers expect that in the first 10 minutes of putting a video up, but that's good for me within 24 hours to get 6,000 views. So I feel like that's partly to blame. And if you are new to the channel and you've clicked on that video just because of the title, perhaps, I do try not to be clickbaity. So yeah, right. I'm going to round it up at that for today. I'm going to head back to the yard, empty this waste oil, remember to put 40 litres of hydraulic oil in the van. Then I'm going to go home and have a nice, chilled, quiet weekend, hopefully. Thanks for watching. Have a good weekend. See you in the next one.